K-12 literacy framework, there are three tiers. There's the school, the district, and the state. So the state and the district support the implementation of the literacy framework, and then the school is in charge of actually implementing the framework. And so then there are 6 components. So first we have goals, and this is kind of their diagram to kind of show the different components. So the most important component in the middle is our student reading goals, and then around that we have assessment and instruction. And so those work together to help kids meet their goals. And then to support that, we have leadership, commitment, and professional development. So all those together are the 6 components. So first off, we have goals. So that's where SIP goals come into play, right? The school writes a goal for reading for all students to meet grade level standards by the end of the year, or get a certain percentage meeting the SBAC scores. So for goals, it needs to be measurable, it needs to be aligned to state standards, and it needs to be assessed frequently. And then, so those are the things you want to consider when a district is setting the goals for the student. And then for assessment, we have kind of 4 levels. We have the screening, which is what here at Middleton? Dibbles, right? Then we have the monitoring. So we have dibbles again for the progress monitoring, and then, different components set up in our classrooms that we're doing, where we're meeting with those kids once a week or however much is needed. Then diagnosing, so that's where the RTI, MTI process comes in, right? So, identifying those kids that the interventions aren't working, we need to try something else. And then finally, determining if the students have met their grade level reading goals. So those are the 4 levels of the assessment that, according to the framework, they want to have in place for effective reading instruction. And then another component of the framework is, in a plan you want to establish the amount of time per day, which we do, right? So a lot of these things are already in place, but they haven't been formally identified. So K3, 90-minute reading blocks, 4-5, same thing, and how often. So identifying that so that we always have something to go back to, and so that there's consistency across the district and across the state, right? So all K3 students across the state are getting 90 minutes of reading instruction every day. And so then within that, we also have the 5 essential elements of reading instruction. So it's going to look a little bit different for K3 versus 412, right? Because K3, they're learning how to actually read, and how, phonemic awareness, phonics, fluency, learning the basic words to build their vocabulary, and then reading for understanding. And then in grades 4 through 12, you're looking more at advanced word study, fluency, vocabulary, motivation, and then comprehension. So again, understanding what you're reading. So really the focus in 4 through 12 is being able to read for understanding. And then just think tier 3 here. So you have your core instruction, you have your supplemental instruction, you have your interventions in place. So this is another important thing to have identified in your literacy plan. And then, so I just thought we'd stop and think about, okay, what are just popcorn a few things that we have in place as far as instruction goes. So what resources do we currently have available? And then also think about, in an ideal world, like what would you want if money were no object? What are some things that you might want to adopt at our school or in our district?
Hi everyone! It's me, Jenica.
Good to see you again. So I couldn't be in class today, so instead I'm recording my reflection. I hope you like it. So I chose to do my presentation on the Oregon K-12 literacy framework. And to be honest, when this assignment was given to us, I was freaking out inside. Even though I don't mind giving presentations, when I had to choose what to present on and have it be something applicable to people and convince them to come listen to me, crazy. So I was kind of stressed, but I decided to do it on the Oregon K-12 literacy framework because when I first learned about it, I had heard of it, but I really didn't know anything about it, and I thought that the odds were pretty good that other people felt the same way too. And I also thought that the literacy framework is great for everyone to know, whether you're in the classroom, whether you're thinking about being an administrator someday, whether you're an instructional coach or a reading specialist. It's a great resource to have so that just to help align your own elementary school, align other elementary schools or your district. I just think it's a really good tool for anyone to use. So, as far as how the actual presentation went, I bribed them with cupcakes and LaCroix. Works every time. But, and carrot cake was the best, not gonna lie. But, I think I had about 10 people there, which I felt was pretty good. It wasn't too many to stress me out on my first professional development, and it was enough to also communicate that people were actually interested in what I was sharing. So I thought the presentation went really well. I felt like I did my job in communicating the importance of the Oregon K-12 literacy framework, communicating what it is, communicating the components of it, and how it can help in a school, a district, and obviously across the state if there are a lot of people using it. And I felt like I was pretty comfortable. I wasn't sure if I was going to be nervous. When you talk too much in front of people, I don't know about you guys, but for me, my mouth always gets dry. So it was a good thing I had a LaCroix close by. But anyway, I felt like I did my job. I felt like I did it pretty comfortably. If I were to do it again, I probably wouldn't play with my hair so much, you guys. I could not believe how much I was playing with my hair. That was driving me nuts when I watched the video again. I'd probably say a little bit less. And I think the other thing I would do, even though I stopped and asked questions and we discussed as a group, I think that I would try to just throw in maybe one or two just little activities where they're turning and working with a neighbor, or, you know, something where they could write things down in maybe a different way to help them remember it better. But other than that, I think it went well, and it's done. Oh, phew. So anyway, thanks for listening, and sorry I couldn't be there, but we'll see you in a few